Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Spill the Tea with Mr. Narva. Today I have a hopefully very helpful video that will make your guys' lives a little bit easier as we transition to doing more work from home and working online, turning in assignments online, things like that. So without further ado, here's the tea. Before we begin, I want to give a special shout out to Pam. Pam, thank you for all the really cool gifts that you sent me. For those of you who don't know her, Pam is actually one of my really good friend's moms. She sends pretty much the coolest gifts, and she saw that, first of all, that I'd become an uncle, and second, that I was having trouble getting my copy of The Great Gatsby back from school. So she sent, first of all, she sent me a really cool shirt. It says Funkle, and it defines it. Then she also sent me these really cool socks, and they are underlined out of print from John's Crazy Socks. And the first one she sent me is like book nerd socks, so they have like books all over them, and I'm obsessed. But these socks are the coolest socks ever. She also sent me the Great Gatsby socks, which tell me that's just not the bee's knees, right? So yeah, I'm definitely going to be wearing those. Thank you, Pam. That was very sweet. I appreciate it. So I decided to wear your t-shirt that you sent me in this video. Now, this video came to my head when I was talking with some of the English teachers this morning in kind of like a conference call. Yes, we were talking about you. You're welcome. And one of the major issues that was kind of discussed was that some students are having trouble using Teams, mainly just that they don't know some of the functions of Teams. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to make a video that would help you guys get through Teams. So I sent out an email to the entire staff at Northwest to send me some of the questions that you guys were asking your teachers, and I got quite a few responses. Oddly enough, most of the questions were the same. So we're going to cover the top 4 questions that are presented to the teachers. So one of the major questions that's being asked is, how do you access Teams? All right, let me show you real quick. So start in Google, and the first thing you need to look up is Microsoft Office Login or Microsoft 365 Office Login. Now, it'll honestly, when you type it in, it'll show up in Google. Ignore my typos. See, it's that first one there. You just click on Office 365. It's going to take you to this site where you then click on Sign In. Now, that'll take you to the next page where it'll ask you to put in your email. Your email is literally your OPS student email. So after you put that in, it'll take you to your organization's page, in which case then I needed to retype mine because I used the wrong format for my email. But you put in your student email and then your password, which is probably your student number, and then that will log you into your 365 account. So give me a second to catch up while I get myself logged in. It's going to ask me if I want to stay signed in. I don't need to stay signed in. Okay, now you'll notice that there are 3 tabs at the bottom. One of them says Apps. That actually is going to be in the upper left-hand corner if you are using a desktop computer. So you're going to click on Apps, and then you're going to scroll down until you see Teams. Let me find that one real quick. There it is, Teams. And all you gotta do is click on it, and then it is going to take you into the Teams app. So you might see a blank screen for a second. It might take a minute to load, but eventually you'll see the Teams logo, and Teams will eventually pop up for you. Now, depending on the browser that you're using, I was using Safari, and that actually did not cooperate. So I just downloaded the app, and to be honest, the app is 1,000 times easier. You can get it in the Android or iOS app store. Another issue that was sent to me from a teacher was that my students aren't asking questions, but they seem to be struggling to understand that they need to look in the files, and they need to open all the links in their assignments to get resources. So to show you kind of what we're talking about here, I just want to give you a general layout of what Teams looks like for you. So this is typically what you're going to see as you log into Teams. There are several aspects that I want you to look at here. The first being on the left side will be the names of all of your classes that you are involved in. For the purposes of this section, we're going to just be looking at word study. The bottom of the screen shows some tabs that say activity teams, assignments, and calendar. Those also could be on the left side of your screen, depending on what section you're using. Probably if you're using the desktop, you'll see it on the left side. Up top, it says post, files, and more. I'm going to talk about that actually in just a second as we continue to look at teams. So let's take a minute to explore the different sections of this page. The first area to look at is the assignments. When you click on the assignments tab, you'll see all the classes that you're currently enrolled in. So I'm going to scroll to the bottom and look at word study, click next. And then here, if there are any assignments assigned, you will see them in there. Now, they're only going to be in this section if you have not completed them. So this student has completed her assignments. Now, the next section is to look at your teams. This is where, for whatever teams you're looking at, for this one we're looking at word study, you'll see posts that the teacher put in there, that other students can put in there. All of your assignments are put in there. Think of that as like the news feed on a Facebook bar. The next section is files. This is anything that your teacher wants to upload into files. They might put an assignment that you need to look to files and find an article that they put in there. So this is anything, a place where anyone can upload any files that they want to share with the teams or the class or the teacher. So if it says look in files, go to files and find whatever you need. Now in more, you'll find things like the class notebook, which I'm going to discuss a little bit later. Another issue that we are kind of coming across is setting up notebooks within Teams. Now, quick disclaimer, in order to do this, you also need to have OneNote, which is another Microsoft app that you can definitely download within the App Store, iOS App Store, or the, what's the name of the other phone company? Android Store. So, yes, go check those out. Of course, you can always do this on the desktop computer as well. So, all right, let me show you how to do this. So when you look at your class notebook, all you have to do is click on it in Teams. Then it will automatically take you over to OneNote. Now, OneNote is where all of your class notebooks that your teacher has set up for you will be located. It might take a minute to open up your notebook, so give it a little bit of time. This particular tool is nice because you can find all of your notes and your assignments and any work all in one place. Another question that I see a lot of the times is how do I turn in my assignments on Teams? So let me show you how to do that really quick. So this is what you're going to see. Wow, that's really small. When you are looking at your assignments and your team section. So the best thing you can do is look through, find the assignment that the teacher assigned to you, and then you are going to end up clicking on it. Now, there might be a lot of assignments in there, so it could be helpful to look at past assignments versus assignments that are still due. If you have any questions about which assignment is due that week, just email your teacher because they will be able to answer that question for you more specifically. Now here's where you actually will turn in your assignment. When you are trying to, say, turn in a document into the assignment section, all you have to do is click where it says add work, and then you upload your document from your computer. So you might want to save that document somewhere on your computer. I always save mine on my desktop because it's easy to find. Then once you have your document fully uploaded, all you have to do is click turn in and you are done. Really, guys, that's it. It's not that hard to do. It takes a little bit of getting used to. I'll be the first to admit that. But the more you use it, the easier it will become. It might seem like a lot of work right now, but you know, truly, it's very handy when it comes to doing some long distance learning. So yeah, make sure that you guys are kind of playing around with it. Make some mistakes with it. If you get stuck on something, Google it. Google has an entire manual on how to use Teams, but you also can shout out to any of your teachers, your administrators. Send me a message. You can shout me out on Twitter. You can send me an email. You can mention a comment in this video. Shameless plug time. Be sure to give me a subscribe and a like on this video. Make sure that you are checking back often or putting on your notifications so that every time I make a video, it will pop up. We will have a new video on Monday, as well as another recommendation Wednesday video coming up this next week. So be on the lookout for that. I honestly think that I'm getting better at this. Let's go find a dog. Daisy, I guess you're gonna be in the video again.